I have been in deep thought for a very long time now. The deep thought is this. What would happen if I altered my timeline, and how would it affect everyone? Let me explain this to all of you since it is quite simple, really. If I were to go back to that day and time that made my history memorable, which would have been October 2014, I would have said no to Barbara coming down from Green Bay, Wisconsin, to come all the way to where I live in Virginia, Minnesota, just to be with me. By doing that, I probably would have still been working at Target and have been fired for a whole totally different reason. If Barbara never came, I would have never been tossed in jail with a petty misdemeanor on my record. Without that PM, and without me experiencing jail, I would have had a clean slate and never have gotten a ticket for driving illegally. And if Barb didn't come down, I would have never lost my to her, and I would have never got to do things which would have made me more addicted to video games. And the whistle, why I'm whistling, he replaced the whistle with some words and that would fit in the sentence and you would know. If Barb never came here, I would have not missed a day of school my senior year when she caused me to have a senior skip day more than normal. I would never have taken carpentry as a course in school, and I would never have known how to operate those tools safely and never learned how to build stuff. That meaning, I would have been normal and still obsessed over my first true love, whom is getting married. That also means by altering history, I wouldn't have been able to experience what I have currently experienced. By altering history and my timeline, the house would still have had Wi-Fi and TV through Mediacom. We would have still had AT&T cell phones. My dad not losing a job, of course. Our dogs would have never existed, and which may have never been born, which would have led to where we would not have had dogs at all. If Barb never came, my iPhone and iPad Touch would have still been working, and I would not have given my best friend my iPod Touch 4G, which was my first ever iPod Touch. I probably would never have experienced marriage. My future marriage probably would have been abuseful, maybe. If Barb never came down here to Minnesota, none of this would have occurred, and I would not have been able to talk to you guys about it since. Screaming Emo Zombies was retired, and I was using Uncleaner Virus, my other YouTube channel. I possibly would have been watching WWE more, and TNA would have never been taken off the air. And I probably would have never ever met my neighbor, which would have led me to a better life than I'm living now. If I never experienced, I would still be left in the curiosity and still wanting to get married to be with my partner and experience for the first time ever. If I had a time machine such as the DeLorean that's in Back to the Future or the TARDIS from Doctor Who, I would have been able to rewrite history and make sure none of this would have ever happened. I would still have been very active at Trinity Lutheran and never have attempted on joining a different church. I would have not known about the red tape about the Salvation Army Church if Barb never arrived here. I would have never tried for the first time ever. Actually, I would have never tried for the first time ever deer meat, or the rich way of saying it, venison. Sorry, I had an itch. But that is stupid. I would have been skinnier instead of getting fatter. Kmart wouldn't have closed and Payless shoes would never have closed in my town, thus altering history. The ultimate question I have unanswered is, and all of this with deep thinking that came, if I never would have refelt what felt like, I would have been wondering if they felt like marshmallows that are a little squishy, which they do feel like. If Barb would have never have came, I would have never have known the officers that work in the town I live in, and that means the cops would have never have known me. If Barb never came down here, it probably would have been a three-way for the U.S. presidential campaign between Trump, Clinton, and Ron Paul. I was hoping for Ron. Now I am rooting for Trump. If Barb never came here, I would have never experienced the feeling of love and mostly abuse, and never would have learned that she had to give up her kids due to the abuse from her abusive marriage, which probably was her fault that she lost her kids since she was the abuser and mentally unstable. If Barb wouldn't have come here, my dad and I would be financially stable and could afford the PS4 or the Xbox One, which would have resulted me getting one and playing with my friends online. And probably getting Minecraft for the PS4 or Xbox One. When thinking of all this, I saw the possibilities that may have happened and would have happened. I'm great at critical thinking and problem solving when it comes to situations like these. These aren't labeled as conspiracy theories, they are labeled as hypotheses or hypotheses, which science would have backed it up upon my guessing games, resulting in a non-college student to be a genius, which probably would have proved to tons of people that I am smart and know everything, except math. Math is dumb. The possibilities are endless when it comes to knowing the future and seeing the potential outcomes of the potential future, or possible future, I may add. Now I look at where my future is going, and I can determine whether I should avoid something or face it head on. Either way, I will rewrite. Either way, I will rewrite my determined destiny and determined fate in the end of the decision and choice. Now the future is whatever we make of it, and we have to think before we do things, including letting people into our hearts and letting them into our lives. And when we are searching for our potential soulmate, we have to do a little bit of soul searching and thinking of the future that may be and seeing red flags when it comes to people telling us something about them that would make them a menace to the relationship and menace to the person that is about to be dating and that individual. I, for one, am not a menace to the dating scene and not a menace to the relationship world, and that shows what kind of person I am when it comes to love and when it comes to being friends. My thinking is awesome, but I hope they want to try and see things that could affect my future for the better. Like I done when I had Barb arrested. After she had me arrested, I was protecting myself and my dogs, and I was protecting my dad at the same time. I wasn't about to look like a coward when getting beat and abused by a woman. I took it like a man and dialed the cops. If I wanted to have a better future for me, I'll be moving to Tennessee, one of the Carolinas, or Georgia to live a new identity and live where people don't even know me, and to live where the pigs don't know me. If you know what pigs are, give this video a like. And I truly need that after what I have experienced. Little heads up, on my record, I am not a criminal. I can answer truthfully to job applications by selecting no for the no box of the question. I'm free and I'm free to do whatever the hell I want. This is Says, signing off until next time. Bye.